Next on the list is fried food, or should I say death by fried food. After wheat, barley, rye, and oats, fried food is a big, bad voodoo daddy. I don't even want you to be downwind of fried food, and here's why. When you fry something, a chemical is created from the protein called acrylamide. Acrylamide's not so bad except for two things. It causes cancer and inflammation. I mean, for goodness sake, it causes cancer. You think that's a good thing not to be around? I mean, we get all up in arms about asbestos exposure, don't we? Where everybody's on the no cigarettes smoking 15 feet away from the entrance to a restaurant, no more cigarettes in the restaurant because of the carcinogenic effects. Well, I got to tell you something. If I had to choose whether to smoke a cigarette or eat a French fry, I'd smoke the cigarette. Acrylamide is one nasty chemical. This is a very interesting map. This is old data, but still, I mean, it works for sake of education here. This is a map in the United States of life expectancy at birth for males. Now, on this map, if it's red, you're dead. This is the coloration on this map is county by county. And the states, or the counties which are colored red, the people that live in those counties have the shortest life expectancies of anybody in the United States by 5 to 8 years. The people that live in the red counties have shortened lifespan by 5 to 8 years. Now, do you notice any pattern there? You notice any pattern? It's the Confederate South, the old Confederate South, and a couple of Indian reservations in the West, a couple of Native American reservations in the West. What is different in this part of the world that's different than the rest of the United States? It's the same education, it's the same hospitals, it's the same doctors, it's the same drugs, it's the same water, it's the same sewage systems, it's the same food. Well, not so much. Because I don't know if you've ever been to the South. I love the South. The people in the South are the kindest, nicest people I've ever met. But everybody in the South eats fried food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when you eat fried food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're going to die, sucker. But before you die, you're going to suffer. Then you're going to lose all your money to these guys. And then you're going to die. Through nothing other than lack of knowledge. I mean, for goodness sake, this guy's been dead for what, 30 years, and he's still killing people. I mean, French fries and fried chicken, they shoot me now. This is why people in the Confederate South and on Native American reservations have the shortest lifespans of anybody in the U.S. It's because of fried food consumption and the acrylamides. Fried food literally will shorten your life. It will kill you. It will kill you slowly. Look, you stop smoking cigarettes. That's a good thing. You know, you cleaned up the schools so in the workplace so there's no more asbestos. That's a good thing. You get down into the coal mine now, you've got a respirator so you don't get black lung. That's a good thing. But one more thing we need to do as a nation is eliminate fried food completely. I don't even want you to look at fried food. Zero tolerance for anything fried. I do not care what it is. If there is fried in the label, fried rice, stir-fried organic vegetables harvested by Trappist monks under a full moon while they're chanting, I don't care. It's fried. You're going to die. Don't eat it. Unless, of course, you want to shorten your lifespan, then go for it. My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge. By the way, who told you to eat this stuff? People that make it. That's who told you to eat it. Now, here we go. Everybody's favorite, olive oil. In addition to fried food, olive oil is a bad substance. It is a bad substance for human consumption. Why did we get on the olive oil kick in the first place? Remember what started that? It was the Mediterranean diet, right? Researchers went around the Mediterranean and they saw that people who lived on the coast of the Mediterranean had significantly longer lifespans than people that lived inland. And they figured, well, it must be what they eat. So what do people in the Mediterranean coast eat? Because they live longer. That's the whole deal. The Mediterranean diet is supposed to live longer. Well, they eat fish, nuts, vegetables, cheese, whole wheat bread, red wine, and olive oil. Because of their inclusion of olive oil in the Mediterranean diet, because of the inclusion of olive oil in the Mediterranean diet, the world went crazy. The horse was out of the barn, and the world went crazy for olive oil. It didn't hurt that Dr. Oz said it's a great thing to eat. It didn't hurt that the olive oil industry said it's a great thing to eat. Everybody took that ball and ran with it, and nobody studied the data except my colleague, Dr. Wallach. Nobody took into consideration the Sardinian variable. Now, here's a map of the Mediterranean. You see there's Spain and Gibraltar and North Africa. And way over in the right-hand corner is Italy. And there's a little island off the northwest coast of Italy right there called Sardinia. Now, as far as longevity is concerned, the Sardinians were the longest lived people in the Mediterranean by another 5 years. They lived 5 years longer than the people on the coast who followed the Mediterranean diet. The only difference between the Sardinian diet and the diet of the people who lived on the coast is the Sardinians hated olive oil. This is one of the reasons why the term greaser came into consideration as a derogatory term for Italians, because the Sardinians called everybody else besides them, greasers, because they ate olive oil, they drank olive oil, they used olive oil. The Sardinians did not. But when the people did the Mediterranean diet study, they neglected the Sardinian variable, either by choice or just because of incompetence. They didn't take it into consideration. So the Mediterranean diet will extend your lifespan five years more or less from the way that people in mainland Europe eat. But if you want to get another 5 years, you cut out olive oil. It's an interesting thing to think about, and really the evolution of olive oil into popular culture has more to do with the food industry than it does with anything else. It became reality by consensus. Everybody agreed that olive oil was a really good thing, and it stuck, even though, quite frankly, it was incorrect. I don't want to say it's a lie, but it was incorrect. Well, so what's the deal with olive oil anyway? I mean, why is it so bad? Well, olive oil causes oxidative damage. Oxidative damage is everywhere all the time. Oxidative damage is a fact of life. Oxidative damage happens everywhere all of the time. Iron turns to rust because of oxidative damage. People get old and die because of oxidative damage. Fruit goes bad, vegetables go bad, food goes bad because of oxidative damage. Oxidative damage is everywhere all of the time, and when oxidative damage happens inside the body, it's not pretty. Oxidative damage is linked to high blood pressure. It's linked to all kinds of pain in the body. It's linked to all kinds of arthritis. It's linked to all kinds of heart disease. It's linked to, you get liver spots on your face, on your skin. It's got nothing to do with the health of your liver. It's oxidative damage to the oil, the fat in your skin. It's rancid fat in your skin. It's caused by oxidative damage. Cancer, caused by oxidative damage. Oxidative damage is everywhere all the time. It is a big bad voodoo daddy. And anything that you can do to decrease your body's exposure to oxidative stress, oxidative damage, would be a very smart thing to do. And herein lies our conversation about olive oil. Because check it out. Oxidative damage is caused by oxygen atoms that have lost an electron. When oxygen atoms lose an electron, they become very sticky. And they stick to whatever they can. When something is stuck to by an oxygen atom, it becomes oxidized. When it becomes oxidized, it becomes broken and destroyed. Oxygen atoms stick to tissue in the body. That tissue becomes oxidized. When the tissue becomes oxidized, it's on the way out. The 10 bad foods all contribute to oxidative stress. They all do. Fried food and oil in a bottle are the greatest contributors of oxidative stress to the human body. You know, other things like crap in the food, crap in the air, crap in the water, right? Automobile pollution, automobile exhaust, secondhand smoke, ionizing radiation, ultraviolet radiation, too much. All of these things cause oxidative damage. And there's not a whole lot you can do about those things, you know, except move to the country and live in a bubble. Nobody's going to do that. But you can do a great deal about the food sources of oxidative stress. And this is why this is such a very, very important thing for people to know, for people to understand, for people to get. So the 10 bad foods contribute to oxidative damage. Fried food and olive oil being the biggest culprits. The body also has an internal fire department, right? The body has a police department, which is the immune system. It kills things. The body also has a fire department. It puts out the fires of oxidative damage. It puts out the fires of inflammation caused by oxidative damage. These substances are referred to as antioxidants. This is why, on the other side of the coin, in these health webinars, when we talk about medical nutrition, we're not talking about medical nutrition tonight. We're talking about foods to avoid. We're not talking about what to put into the body. We're talking about what to remove from the body, what to not let into the body. Antioxidants, which I've done an entire webinar on. I've done an entire 45-minute webinar just on antioxidants, are one of the keys to health. 90 essential nutrients, antioxidants, eliminate the 10 bad foods. When you do these three things, take the 90 essential nutrients into your body appropriate for body weight, take antioxidants in the proper amounts, and eliminate the 10 bad foods, you are going to live a long and happy, and well, I don't know if you'll be happy, you're going to live a long and healthy life. Now here's the deal with olive oil. You see in that bottle, it's a bottle of olive oil, you've got the bottle, you've got the cap, you've got the olive oil, and then you've got this stuff at the top of the bottle. Well, what is that? That's air. What does air have in it? Oxygen. What does oxygen do? It oxidizes things. So olive oil oxidizes with time. You have no idea how long it's been sitting on the shelf. You have no idea how long it was in the truck. You have no idea how long it was sitting at the distribution center before it got on the truck, before it got into the supermarket. By the time you open the top of that bottle, it could be completely oxidized. And regretfully, there's no real down and dirty, easy way to measure how much oxidation has happened in the oil. So to err on the side of caution, we say, Don't eat it. Don't use it. Follow the Sardinians, not the olive oil industry. Now look, oxidation is all about time. If you're just hooked on olive oil, and you can't imagine a life without olive oil, if olive oil is your thing and you just have to have it, then I want you to grow an olive tree in your backyard, grow an olive tree in your kitchen, and every time you want olive oil, you pluck the olives off of the tree, you put them in some type of a press and squeeze the oil out of them. And eat it immediately, but don't heat with it. Because when you heat with any oil, yes, this includes coconut oil, this includes any oil, it oxidizes. It oxidizes rapidly when you heat it. This is why frying food is a bad thing. Now you can cook anything you want in a fry pan if you use lard or butter. Technically, frying is cooking stuff in a superheated oil. We don't like oil for cooking. We hate it. Don't even want to look at it. But we're okay with butter or lard. Isn't that interesting? It's exactly the opposite of what you've been taught. And by the way, what you've been taught, how's that working for you? How's your health? You getting better every year? You getting healthier every year? Have you plateaued out and you're feeling good? Is that what's happening? Or are you getting worse? Autism has risen from 1 in 20,000, 1 in 10,000, to 1 in 80. Alzheimer's is now the 6th leading cause of death. It came out of nowhere. Heart disease rates unchanged. Cancer rates unchanged. Chronic disease on the rise. Life expectancy going down. Why? Because we've taken advice